Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Oakley dokley, entertainment only, and since that last reading was just a really quick one, I'm going to have a look on, just throw an extra one in. So I'm using the Golden Universal Tarot, which means it's a money question. I do apologise, it's dark and gloomy and getting late in the afternoon. But I haven't got the overhead lights on because they shine off the cards, and I don't do a ring light because they give me migraines. Oh, life is so difficult. Okay, but what I do want to have a look at, a little quick reading here, Warren Buffett's come out that Berkshire Hathaway owns more bonds, US bonds, than the US Treasury. So Berkshire Hathaway got a very vested interest in the US doing well, basically, not defaulting on loans, etc. Apparently, they've got $305 billion worth of bonds, whereas the US Treasury only has $195 billion worth of bonds. Now, I believe the biggest shareholder of US bonds is Japan. Wonder why the orange twerp's trying to peeve Japan off so badly. And the second biggest is China. Again, peeving China off. Goodness me, all they have to do is dump them on the market and it's an absolute mess. But I just want to have a look to see whether Berkshire Hathaway is going to do anything in regards to the bonds. Well, what did I get? A big stick. And then they're going to defend their position. So I think they're going to come out, use their power and make some sort of announcement and defend their position that will be restrictive. Ooh, and we've got a nightmare situation in regards to money here. We've got the abuse of power. We've got the trying to keep things on even keel. Oh, there's a lot of cards coming out here. So I think Berkshire Hathaway are going to do something. Now, the orange twerp has come out and basically compared current conditions to current conditions are actually almost exactly the same as Great Depression of 1929. 100 years ago. Almost exactly the same, where the market overshot. It was overvalued for what it's worth, and then it exploded. Now, if tariffs aren't trying to explode it, goodness knows what's happening once the tariffs start hitting. The orange twerps come out and basically said if the US is plunged into a depression, it's the Democrats' fault. Whatever. But I want to have a look. Is Berkshire Hathaway going to take any action that we need to be aware of with their US Treasury bonds? Berkshire Hathaway, tell me, do we need to know anything? Come on down, let's have a look. Another little quick reading, hopefully. Don't need to go down any rabbit holes. Okay, they are not liking what is on the table at the moment, Berkshire Hathaway. They are disappointed in what is being offered by the government. Okay. I think they're disappointed in how this regime is behaving. We've got here a challenge by the Six of Pentacles, the ability to make money. This could also be the stock market overvalued and then becoming cents on the dollar like it did during the global financial crisis or the 1929 depression. I mean, literally 1 month everything was hunky-dory and rising like a rocket, and the next month people were throwing themselves off buildings. I think if you've got, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and you shouldn't be taking financial advice from someone throwing cards on their dining table. But I would just probably check your share investments, if you've got any, that they are actually in companies that have a value. Okay, just a suggestion. I mean, you really should only invest in companies that have a value, not speculative. Speculative, you can make a squillion overnight, but you can also lose a squillion. The energy that it's stewing in at the moment is something is going to be revealed, come to the surface. There is a long path to traverse that's a tricky path, and it's got ups and downs. I mean, the share market does go up and down, but there's just something here that's feeling off. And we are coming into eclipse season. I think there's an eclipse, is it not, is it 8th of September or something along those lines? But it does mean we've got this rise, but you've also got the tame dog and the wild dog. So there can be stability, or there can be lunacy as this goes up and down going forward. Okay, passing through the pillars of wisdom. I don't think a decision's been made just yet. It's looking at the entire, Berkshire Hathaway are looking at the entire global situation. So I don't think they're going to be dumping bonds anytime soon. They're looking at the entire global situation. You might find them going to reposition themselves. Okay, the star. It is a star performer. If you had, a dollar in Berkshire Hathaway 20 years ago, you'd be a multi-millionaire by now, or something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure the figures, not having shares myself, but they are a star performer to watch about how they balance their portfolios. Okay, the immediate future, negative messaging. This could be a negative share market, but negative messaging coming forward. We've got externally as the ships are not coming in. Now, one of my beautiful viewers wrote to me from, I believe, Portland, Oregon. Is that right? One of the major shipping ports. No ships. The ships are not coming in as the tariffs start to hit. Oh boy, oh boy. Internally, look after your money. Make sure it's protected. Keep an eye on it. Make it work for you. Ergo, don't buy frivolous. Try and keep some in reserve. If you've got something that you don't need to spend on, then don't spend on it. Save that money for something else. Like if you can make your clothes go another year or something, or health is important, both you and your fur babies, but if there's something where you can save some money, do so with that Page of Pentacles internally. Because I think Berkshire Hathaway are looking at their investments very closely. You got the hopes and fears, the Chariot. Is there going to be some sort of military movement? Who knows? The Knight of Cups with an offer. The Page of Wands, an announcement. And then the Queen of Wands, the Devil. The Knight of Pentacles. And then the Ten of Pentacles. So it's almost like the time of market growth is over. Inability, it's just not going to move any further forward. I think they're just going to look after they're going to look after house in the face of this devil energy. Yeah, full exposure, inability to harvest the money. Ooh, loss, disappointment, heartbreak. On the bottom, despair. Okay, I'm interested in this Knight of Cups. So my next question is, so watch what Berkshire Hathaway invest in. They are sort of the gold standard, the the Michelin star standard, so to speak. Is Berkshire Hathaway going to offer the Treasury to buy back US bonds? Is Berkshire Hathaway going to offer the US Treasury to buy back their US bonds, $305 billion worth? Are they going to offer to the Treasury? Because there's that Knight of Cups offer being made, followed by some sort of an announcement. Right, oh gosh, these are terrible cards. The betrayal, abuse of power, downfall, and a judgment card. A collective awakening, a call to arms, being stabbed in the back. The Hanged Man and the Fool. So looking at things from a different point of view and then setting out on a new journey as this sort of truth comes forward. There's a unexpected message coming out of left field. Money, restriction, big stick, betrayal. So that takes me to my next question. Is the US Treasury, now the US Treasury, I believe, is completely, supposedly independent from the government, but we do know that the Orange Twerp put one of his sycophants in that board of directors position that was made vacant the other week, and he wants Jerome Powell out of there. We've got Tower tearing down. My question is, because I don't know what, this is what my guides are showing me or just telling me, is the US government going to seize the Treasury bonds owned by Berkshire Hathaway? Just a couple of cards. Are they going to seize? Emotionally walking away. The mature, I mean, to me this would be Warren Buffett, the mature leader, and strength. Cups cards. Betrayal, stabbing through. Money, with that 8 of money trails, money, hard work, producing money, and then an inability to move forward or harvest. Wondering whether Berkshire Hathaway is going to have to, Okay, what I'm going to ask, this is going to sound really bizarre, and as I said, do not take financial advice from someone throwing cards on a dining table in Australia. It's not a seizing card, but what I want to ask is the regime going to block trading of US Treasury bonds? Is the regime going to block trading of US Treasury bonds? The agreements, contracts card, some sort of, well, it's my executive order card as well, but let's have a look. Is the US regime going to somehow bar, block, prevent trading in US bonds, even if it's just for US companies? Like, so they can't sell, but they can't buy. I don't think they're going to be seized. The Wheel of Fortune. Something's happening. And Justice. 3 major arcana, 3 yes cards. And there may be legal action about it. inability to move the money, lack of integrity here, being forced to hold on to it, burdensome. Got deals being done behind the scenes in regards to the money. I don't know that Berkshire are involved in this. And then we've got a significant ending. No Tower card. You've then got Warren Buffett having to defend the position, a truth being brought forward about the disappointment, the Chariot. Now this Chariot cannot move forward and the ships cannot be brought into harbour. I would not be surprised. I would absolutely not be surprised if there is an executive order, actions having consequences, which is the judgment card. If there is an executive order that comes out, do not be surprised, that prevents US bonds being traded, US Treasury bonds being traded, even if it's just for US companies or something. None of this is logical. And if anybody says, that's illegal, they're not allowed to do that. Has anything this regime done been legal? First of all, legality doesn't mean nothing to them. Constitution doesn't mean nothing to them because they're not obeying the law or the Constitution. So we are in completely uncharted territories already. It's just a lot of us haven't realised it yet. So do not be surprised if an executive order comes out basically banning the trading of US Treasury bonds by US citizens and or US-based companies. And I'd be watching what Berkshire Hathaway are doing with their share portfolios. Just keep an eye on it if you're playing the share market. And if you are playing the share market, just ensure that your shares are invested in something that has physical substance to it, not a speculative thought or promise of a future product that has not yet been developed. Just be aware. Okay, love to you all. Catch you shortly. Bye-bye.